Deep in a remote forest, far away from any town or trace of civilization, a small family chooses to live completely cut off from the modern world. Jacob, the father, spends his days teaching his only daughter, Helena, how to hunt. Meanwhile, her mother stays behind at their cabin, quietly preparing the fire for dinner. Helena, still just a child, already carries several tattoos etched into her skin by her father himself. Unlike her mother, who seems distant and unhappy most of the time, Helena and Jacob appear perfectly content living off the land. No bills, no neighbors, no rules. Just the wilderness and each other. Jacob is the kind of father who is always teaching. He shows Helena how to read broken branches, how to follow footprints, how to tell whether tracks are fresh or cold. Every lesson is about survival. In his mind, he is preparing her to protect herself and her family from whatever dangers might come their way. One day, while Helena is gathering berries by the river, she sees something strange. Her father appears to be helping her mother after she falls from a boat. The moment feels off. Helena watches with confusion, sensing that something is being kept from her. The next morning, she secretly watches Jacob hide a rifle beneath the floorboards of a shed. When he notices her, he lifts her up playfully, laughing. That is when we clearly see the 3 silver teeth he wears, though it is unclear how long he has had them. That night, the quiet of the forest is broken by the sound of a wolf outside their cabin. Jacob wakes Helena and tells her to shoot it for protection, but she cannot bring herself to pull the trigger. She is too young, too compassionate. Jacob then teaches her what he believes is an important lesson. Wolves have no mercy, only instinct. If she wants to protect her family, she must be willing to do what is necessary. Without hesitation, he fires the shot himself.
Helena, move. You must always protect your family.
Not long after, Jacob prepares to leave on a long trip alone, instructing Helena to stay behind and look after her mother. One night after he leaves, a stranger suddenly appears on an ATV, claiming he got lost from his adventure group. What happens next changes everything. Helena's mother screams for help and begs the stranger to take them away from the forest. But before anything can happen, Jacob returns unexpectedly and shoots the man on the spot. Helena refuses to leave with her mother and fights back in confusion. Desperate, her mother knocks her unconscious and escapes with her on the ATV. When Helena wakes up, she is in a police station. There she meets an officer named Clark, who calmly tells her that she and her mother are finally safe and that there is nothing to fear anymore. Helena does not understand. She is even more confused when her mother repeats the same thing. She tells Helena that Jacob is not the man she believes him to be. He is not kind, not loving. He is a violent criminal who kidnapped her 13 years ago and forced her to live in isolation. None of it makes sense to Helena. Overwhelmed, she runs out of the station. She feels relief when Jacob comes to retrieve her. For a brief moment, everything feels normal again. But that happiness quickly shatters when Clark and a team of officers surround them. Realizing he cannot escape, Jacob makes one final promise. He vows that one day he will return for her. He ends it with the name he always called her, Little Shadow. This is the story of the Marsh King's daughter. 20 years pass, and Helena is no longer the little girl from the forest. She is an adult now, living an entirely different life. She works a steady office job and presents herself as a confident, composed professional. The tattoos her father carved into her face are still there, though. She has to put in extra effort every day to conceal them, making sure no one asks questions about where they came from. Helena is also a mother now. She has a 6-year-old daughter with her husband, Stephen, a man from the city who represents everything normal and stable. On the surface, her life looks peaceful, but Helena keeps parts of herself hidden. During a school parent meeting, she lies when asked about her hometown and her parents. She has built a new identity, one that carefully erases the wilderness and the man who raised her. Even Stephen does not know the full truth about her past. While Helena is living this quiet life, Jacob is being transferred to another prison. During the transport, he reveals that he has not changed at all. He kills a prison guard without hesitation and escapes with another inmate. Back at home, Helena returns from work and finds several police cars parked in front of her house. Her heart drops, thinking something happened to her family. Instead, the officers inform her that Jacob escaped during the transfer the night before. They want to know if she has had any contact with him. This is the moment Stephen learns that Helena has been lying. Her parents were never dead. Her father is a notorious criminal. Following police advice, Stephen takes their daughter to stay at a hotel for safety, just in case Jacob tries to come looking for her. Helena chooses to remain in the house alone.
Do you know where your father might be going?
Your father?
He doesn't know where I live.
Oh, you can't be too sure of that. Christ, Helena, how could you not have told me?
The news spreads quickly. Headlines announce the escape of a terrifying figure known as the Marsh King. The public learns that he was not only a ruthless killer, but also a kidnapper who abducted Helena's mother and forced her to live in the wilderness for more than 13 years. Helena herself was born from that captivity. The reports also reveal that Helena's mother died 4 years earlier, unable to overcome the trauma and depression that followed her rescue. Alone in her home, Helena begins going through old belongings from her past. Among them is a knife her father once gave her as a birthday gift. Memories she tried to bury start rising to the surface. That same night at a remote gas station, Jacob and the inmate who escaped with him are picked up by a driver who appears to be an old associate. Whatever Jacob is planning, it seems clear he intends to fulfill the promise he made years ago. Not long after, Helena receives a visit from Clark. He is worried about the escape and fears Jacob might come after her. Clark's concern runs deeper than duty. He is her stepfather. He had married Helena's mother after the rescue, and after her death, he felt responsible for Helena as if she were his own daughter. He knows exactly what Jacob is capable of, and he is determined to protect the life Helena has worked so hard to build. Just as Helena is preparing to head home, officers arrive and take her to the FBI office. Once there, agents inform her about a major development. A burned-out vehicle has been discovered after a crash. Inside were 2 men believed to be the escaped prisoners. During the investigation, authorities recovered 3 silver teeth that matched the ones Jacob had. Based on that evidence, they conclude that Jacob died in the accident. For the first time in years, Helena is told she has nothing left to fear. The man who haunted her past is supposedly gone for good. The news of Jacob's death is officially broadcast on television. With that announcement, Stephen finally returns home. He had every reason to be upset after discovering that Helena had lied about her parents for years. But now, with the nightmare seemingly over, he chooses to accept the truth and move forward. He sees it as a lesson about honesty and the importance of being open with the person you love. After reconciling, Helena, Stephen, and their daughter decide to visit Clark. It is partly a family visit and partly a chance for their daughter to spend time with her grandfather. For Helena, it is also something more personal. She takes the opportunity to reflect on her memories of her mother. As a child, she had always sided with Jacob and blamed her mother for the tension between them. At the time, she was too young to understand what was really happening. Now, as an adult, she sees things more clearly. Eventually, they say goodbye and return home. That night, while the family sleeps, Helena suddenly sees Jacob appear and call her by the name he used when she was a child, Little Shadow. But it is only a dream, a sign that her mind is still struggling to let go. The next morning, just before her daughter leaves for school, Helena notices small clumps of dirt on the floor. For a split second, she fears someone has entered the house. Then she realizes the dirt simply came from her daughter's shoes after playing outside. Even so, her anxiety continues to grow. While shopping at the market, she hears a familiar whistle, the same tune Jacob used to hum. She even catches a glimpse of someone in the crowd. Convinced that her father may still be alive, Helena installs perimeter bells around her home as a precaution. One night, the bells ring. Helena grabs the old knife her father once gave her and rushes outside to investigate. Hanging from a tree branch, she finds a dead rabbit. It is a chilling sign, and she knows exactly who is capable of something like this. Determined to uncover the truth, Helena begins researching the burned car case on her own. Online, she discovers that one of Jacob's accomplices is still officially listed as missing. That detail changes everything. She realizes Jacob likely staged his death by planting his silver teeth on the body of one of his partners. And it would not be surprising. Jacob is known as the Marsh King for a reason. He is the kind of man who would eliminate his own allies without hesitation if it meant getting what he wants. The proof that Jacob is still alive becomes undeniable when Helena finds 2 small wooden dolls in her daughter's bedroom. They are carved in the exact same style her father used to make when she was a child. That is all the confirmation she needs. Certain now that Jacob faked his death, Helena drops her daughter off at school and heads to Stephen's office. She tells him she needs to take care of something unfinished. This is something she has to face on her own. Alone, Helena drives back to the remote wilderness where she and her mother were once held captive. When she arrives, a strange mix of emotions washes over her. Part of her feels the pull of nostalgia. The forest once felt like home, but she knows that sense of peace was carefully constructed by a manipulative and violent man. She eventually reaches the old cabin, now rotting and abandoned. And then, the moment she has been expecting finally happens. Jacob steps out. Even though Helena is disgusted by what he has done, she cannot deny that they once shared memories in this place. That complicated bond still lingers beneath the surface. Jacob openly admits that he killed both of his accomplices and sacrificed his silver teeth to fake his death, all just to see her again. But whatever devotion he believes he is showing means nothing to Helena. She stands firm. She has a new life now, a husband, a child. She tells him to stay away and never interfere again. Jacob shifts into self-pity, acting wounded and confused about why his daughter would hate him. That is when Helena finally lays everything out. She reminds him of the cruelty he inflicted. She recalls the moment by the river when her mother supposedly fell from the boat. Now she understands the truth. Her mother was trying to escape, and Jacob punished her by forcing her head underwater. As a child, Helena could not grasp what she was seeing. Now she can. Through tears, she makes one final plea. If Jacob truly loves his own blood, he needs to let her go and leave her family alone. Before leaving, Helena walks through the old cabin one last time, taking in the space that shaped her childhood. Unexpectedly, Clark arrives. He had a feeling she would come here and followed her. Then the worst happens. Jacob appears and shoots Clark, killing him on the spot. In that moment, it becomes clear that Jacob never intended to accept Helena's decision. Instead, he escalates. He locks Helena inside a pit and prepares to head into the city. His plan is chillingly familiar. He wants to take her young daughter back to the wilderness and recreate the twisted version of family he once forced on Helena and her mother. Refusing to let her daughter suffer the same fate, Helena thinks of her mother and the strength she once showed. That memory pushes her to fight back. She climbs out of the pit and immediately retrieves the rifle Jacob once hid beneath the shed floor. This time, she is the one doing the hunting. The survival instincts drilled into her since childhood take over. She tracks Jacob through the forest, reading the land the same way he taught her. When she finally spots him, she takes the shot. He is hit, but he manages to throw himself into the water and escape. Helena follows the trail of blood he leaves behind. The chase leads her into the marshland. But Jacob is still the master of this terrain. Suddenly, he reappears and shoots her. Despite all her training, he remains one step ahead. He handcuffs her and forces her to guide him to the boat she used to get there. As they walk along a narrow cliff toward the shoreline, Helena begins to reflect on everything she misunderstood as a child. For years, she blamed her mother. She resented her sadness, her constant fear, her attempts to keep distance between Helena and Jacob. She never once stood by her mother's side, even though her mother loved her unconditionally. Now she understands the truth. Her mother had chances to escape. She could have left. But she stayed because she refused to abandon her daughter in that nightmare. In that moment, Helena realizes that whatever small moments of happiness she once shared with Jacob mean nothing compared to her mother's sacrifice. And now it is her turn to do the same for her own child. Without hesitation, Helena throws herself off the cliff and drags Jacob down with her. After the fall, Helena regains consciousness first. She grabs Jacob's weapon before he can fully recover. As he begins reaching for his own weapon, Helena raises the gun. She remembers the lesson he once taught her about protecting family. This time, she applies it in her own way. She pulls the trigger.
Just remember your lesson. Always protect my family.
So the moral of the story is, if your dad teaches you survival skills in the woods, maybe double check he is not also a wanted criminal with silver teeth and a kidnapping hobby.